It's May and I'm running a readathon, so I best come up with some sort of TBR, because that's what the kids do these days. If you've not heard of Misery May yet, it's nice to know that you don't watch my channel. And no, the announcement will be in the show notes along with Gemma's announcement video, because she is my very excellent co-host and she loves miserable books. Normally I don't do TBRs, but you all seem to like them, so here's the deal. If this video gets to 201 likes, I will make them more often, because they're really easy to make and they do help me plan my reading. Let's address the prompts for Misery May. Prompt 1, read a Hardy novel. I am going to be rereading Jude the Obscure. This will be my third time through with Jude. That is our group read for Misery May. I also think that I might read a few more Hardy novels. I'm not going to tell you what Hardy novels they are, because I want freedom in this choice. Right now, the house is a bit of a mess and I'd like the idea of just putting aside a day, getting an audiobook, putting my headphones on, and then vacuuming, mopping, doing all of that sort of domestic stuff, and knocking out an audiobook from beginning to end in one shot, and having the house go from messy to clean. But I just want to sort of let the mood take me. Prompt 2, read a Hardy not novel. Read something that he wrote that wasn't a novel. At the time of making the prompts, I didn't know this, but Hardy actually wrote 2 plays. They're weird plays. They're plays to like perform with your friends rather than put them on stage, but whatever. And I'm going to read the second and much shorter play, The Tragedy of the Queen of Cornwall. Also, Hardy published 14 novels, but he actually wrote 15. Before writing Desperate Remedies, he wrote a novel called The Poor Man and the Lady. And that novel got rejected by all of the publishing houses. Bet they're feeling pretty stupid right about now. Anyway, all of the copies have been destroyed, but Hardy did rework it into a poem and a short story. The short story being called An Indiscretion in the Life of an Heiress, but the poem is keeping the original name. So I've got a play, a short story, and a poem. Prompt 3 is read a miserable book, and I'm going to read The Furies by Maddie Beaumont. This is a story about a 16-year-old girl whose father leaves without a word and whose mother is taken away by the police. And after that night, she is looking for her sister, who must be somewhere else by now. Where was she in the first place? What's happened to her sister? The first review I saw of this book, it said, DNF, it's just too bleak, hopeless, and depressing. I didn't think there was such a thing. Sold! Prompt number 4, and these are the word association prompts now. Cliffhanger or underwear. And I've got another Aussie novel for the 4th prompt. We Only Want What's Best by Carolyn Swindell. This is a story about 2 mothers and 2 daughters on a dance team flying from Sydney to LA. But on the flight, secrets start to come out, including some very inappropriate photos of the girls in skimpy undergarments. That sounds really horrible. Prompt number 5, building or architecture, and I'm going to read The Street by Anne Petrie. A street is a building, right? It's building going on. I was going to read this one in April, but I've run out of time and I've told that it would work for Misery May, so brilliant. I'm going to do that. Prompt 6, stars and astronomy. I'm going to read Sky Falling by Mia Mackenzie. It's the sky thing. That's where stars are, right? It's a bit of a push, but not a lot. This one won the Lambda Awards last year for Best Lesbian Fiction. This is about Sky, who sold her eggs once, and then, some years later, Sky, who is now 40, is being tracked down by a 12-year-old girl. And it turns out that Sky has been hitting on that girl's auntie without much success. Now, because that one was slightly dodgy, I'm also going to read We Measure the Earth with Our Bodies. I feel like bodies as in bodies of stars, as in, celestial bodies. It kind of works. Measuring the Earth. It conjures images of stars to me. That's by Tezering Yangzom Lama. This is a book about a refugee camp in Tibet on the border with Nepal. I've been to Nepal and I've seen in the mountains they have these Tibetan markets where Tibetan people walk over from Tibet with their goods and sell them because Nepal has more money than Tibet. If they get caught by the border guards, they will be literally shot. I think if that was me, I'd just live in Nepal once I got there. I'm also going to be reading Blindness by Jose Saramago, The Coming by Daniel Black, The Nursery by Sylvia Mola, River Spirit, and Chain Gang All-Stars, all of which I have relatively good reasons to believe that they will be at least a little bit miserable. So there's 14 books. I think I get to about 20 a month plus DNFs. I have backlist books from Claire Fuller, Tahari Jones, and Bernadine Evaristo on loan from the library. I don't know if they're particularly miserable, but I want to read them at some point. Actually, I really want to read the new Claire Fuller, but I can't seem to find a copy right now. Also, the Miles Franklin Award will release their long list at some point during this month, so I'm going to leave a few spots open for that. I might read the entire Miles Franklin long list this year. I might not. It really depends on how many of the books I can get and when exactly they announce the shortlist. If anybody actually knows, it only says May on their website, and I've emailed them to ask them and they haven't answered me. It was on the 23rd or something last year, so maybe it'll be about that date this year. So I guess that's where the rest of my books will probably come from. Let me know, are you going to be reading books for Misery May this month? If you want to read Jude the Obscure with Gemma and myself and some of BookTube's finest, let me know and we can add you to the Voxer conversation. Tell me what your reading plans are this month, like this video and hit that subscribe button. Bye bye.